No matter what you're expecting for 2023, the only way that you get out of it what you want is to set defined goals. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through and talk you through the process that I have used and the template that I use that has gotten me the success, and I owe a huge thanks to a business partner of mine who put me onto this method. I will walk you through exactly how to use it, and you can even have a copy for free. Let's dive in. All right, so before I walk you through this template here, I want to talk you through the meaning behind this, or the rationale, I should say, for why I do it the way I do it. And again, this is big thanks to a business partner of mine who turned me onto this. But most of the time when we think of goals, we think very short term. We think today, we think this week, we think this year, usually at the most. But what that leads to is us not actually thinking big enough to achieve the goals that we actually want to achieve. So by working backwards, by starting, as you can see here, with afterlife and working your way and kind of working, like I said, backwards towards the present day, towards more immediate task-oriented goals, has worked so well for me. When I started off my first year in real estate, I did set my goals for the year, but they were very, very short-sighted. They were based primarily and only on money, primarily and only on business, and what I thought was within my attainability based on the skills I had today. I didn't have any of this other depth that you're going to see in the other 7 categories that we're going to talk about that will help you get there. But if you start at afterlife, what legacy do you want to leave behind? That's for your family, that's for your community, that's for everybody. Once you start there and think about how impactful that can be, that's a huge starting point to really help you understand what your true goals are. So after you've defined those, and you can go in every category, you can focus on one at a time. You don't have to do all of these. One that I left out here just based on my personal beliefs, faith is another one. I know a lot of people who use this template who have that as a separate category as well. But once you get through afterlife, you can then move on to lifetime. What are the goals within your lifetime while you're alive? That can be a very long time. We hope it's a very long time, and we need to plan that way as well. So once you then have lifetime, you can then break it into the 20, 30-year range, followed by mid-range, the 3, 5, and 10-year goals, short-term, annual, break that into 4 quarters, and then weekly. And I want to spend some extra time here. As much as the long range and mid-range are just as important as the short term is what is within our grasp. We often overestimate what we can do in the short term and underestimate what we can do in the long term. So by starting with an annual goal, again, coming off of that 10, 5, and 3 year, what do we actually want to accomplish this year? If we set a goal for the end of the year, and that's it, we leave it by the end of the year, what are our checkpoints? What's going to keep us honest 3 months in, 6 months in? That's why I'm a huge proponent of having basically 4 years within 1 year, every quarter being its own year. We have a huge tendency to get a power boost, right? An energy boost January 1st, and that carries us for a week or two, and then it tends to fizzle out for the rest of the year. You end up missing your first initial goal, or you seem like you're not on track. You just say, I got plenty of time to pick up the slack. But if you're setting these quarterly intentional goals, then that's simply not going to be the case. And even better, you're going to have that January 1st burst of energy and passion 4 times, right? And there's nothing that beats that energy that transfers into your actions that gets you the results that you want. So again, starting with the annual, after you've covered the longer term topics and goals, you break it into 4 quarters and focusing on one big thing per quarter. I personally have a theme every quarter, or a project that I really focus on 1 quarter at a time, so that you're not taking on too much. Again, you don't want to overestimate what you can do and put yourself in a position where you're going to fail, but you do want to stretch yourself. So for example, this year, my Q1 big project and goal was not only to get on short form video, long form has been the only thing I've used to this point, but I wanted to do it on a consistent basis across all platforms. That's a huge goal. So I set out a plan, and I knew that I would have 90 days to really establish the system, get comfortable, work out the kinks, so that the remainder of the year, that part can be on relative autopilot, because I will have gotten so comfortable by making it my main focus. Q2, I have a different focus that's going to be on finding not just distressed sellers, but development opportunities for investor clients of mine. Could I focus on that right now? Absolutely. But in terms of momentum, I personally believe that the short form exposure that I am getting is going to allow me to have a bigger snowball effect, right? It's going to give me more momentum than if I flip-flop those. But with that out of the way, there's no right or wrong way to prioritize these projects. It's going to depend on you and your goals. But once you get within those quarterly goals and you define them, this is where the magic is. You're able to break down the tasks that you need to do, not should do, need to do to accomplish your quarterly goals into weekly tasks. And from there, you can break it down into daily tasks. And voila, you have a map that is defined not by anybody else, that's not defined by the market. It's defined by your own plan to get to where you're going to get to throughout your life and how you're going to leave the legacy that you want to leave behind. So within this simple little spreadsheet, I have filled out not every box. I'm going to be honest, right? There are some things for me. Did I talk about the education and skill sets that I want to develop that are going to have an impact after my life? I have not at this point. That's simply not where I am in this process. But my financial, my health, my relationships, my emotional, my community, and my habits, shorter term habits, mind you, throughout annual, they're all fleshed out. I know exactly what I should and need to do on a daily basis for the entire year. And it is January 5th, the day that I'm recording this video. There's tremendous power to that. Now, the other piece of it is the accountability side. A lot of people in our industry are big on having an accountability partner. I'm not going to knock that at all. If that's what you need, go ahead and find yourself an accountability partner. Could be a coach, could be a spouse, could be a family member, friend, doesn't matter. Find somebody that's going to keep you true to your word. However, the more powerful evolution that I've been able to have once I understood exactly how important it is being able to hold myself accountable and the confidence that comes from doing that. Because if you don't need anybody to hold you accountable to your own plan, to your own word, there's nothing that can stop you now or ever. So I would encourage you to really take that to heart. But Rome wasn't built in a day. Personal development takes a long time, and honestly, it never ends. So be honest with where you are. If you need an accountability partner, get one, but work towards that goal of being accountable to yourself. So with that said, that is it for today's video. If you found this helpful, do me a favor and hit the like button below. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit subscribe as well, because I will be coming out with more content, 2 videos a week this year, each and every week, all about how you can optimize your business as either a second home agent or an agent anywhere in the world. As promised, if you'd like a copy of this template, simply contact me via any of the ways that you see down in the description or drop a comment with your email address and I will include you and send you a copy you can use for yourself. Thanks for hanging out with me as always, and I will see you on the next video.